For most of us, getting behind the wheel is just automatic. It's pure muscle memory. We just go. But what if I told you that those tiny, subconscious decisions about where you place your car in a lane, what if those are hiding some really serious risks? Today, we're going to dive into the art and science of lane positioning. It's a skill that, honestly, separates a truly safe driver from a potential hazard.
So, let me ask you this straight up. When you're out on the road, are you really driving? Are you actively managing your space? Or are you kind of just on autopilot, letting your brain do its thing in the background? It's a super common habit for sure, but it's one we really need to look at. Because here's the thing about that autopilot mode. It's not a sign that you're an expert driver. It's actually a hidden vulnerability. It's a trap. It filters out all the subtle dangers, and it quiets that part of your brain that should be constantly asking, okay, what could possibly go wrong here? So let's flip that switch. Let's start seeing the road with fresh eyes.
All right, so first things first, let's start by identifying the places on the road you should actively 100% avoid. I want you to think of these as the absolute no-go zones, spots where your risk just skyrockets, whether you're moving or even stopped for just a second.
First up, the massive blind spots around big rigs, buses, you name it. They're often called no zones. And listen, that name isn't just for show. It is a literal warning. If you are hanging out in these areas, you are, for all intents and purposes, completely invisible to that truck driver.
And here is the simplest, most powerful rule you will ever learn about this. Just burn this into your brain. If you can't see the driver's face in their side mirror, they absolutely, positively cannot see you. You're a ghost. Don't linger there. Get past them quickly and cleanly.
Okay, next up, stopping on a curve. Now you might think the main danger is that you can't see what's coming. And that's true. But the real issue here, the one people forget, is about physics. For a car coming around that curve at speed, you've just shrunk their reaction time down to basically zero. You've created a situation where a collision is almost guaranteed.
And what about the highway shoulder? I mean, it looks safe, right? It's literally designed for stopping. Well, unless it is a dire emergency, it is one of the worst places you can possibly be. You're at a dead stop, while traffic is blasting past you at 70 miles per hour just feet away. There is zero margin for error. One tiny drift from another car, and it is a devastating accident.
All of these no-go zones, they all point to a much bigger idea. It's like an unwritten rule that we all rely on to get around safely. Let's call it the Predictability Covenant. It's the very foundation of how millions of cars can move together without descending into total chaos.
Think of it like a giant, coordinated dance. We all trust that everyone else knows the basic steps. The moment someone breaks that trust, the moment they act unpredictably, the whole system just starts to fall apart, and danger rushes right in to fill that void.
And how do we break this covenant? Oh man, in so many ways. Tailgating? You're literally stealing someone's reaction time. Weaving through traffic? You've just become a random, dangerous variable. And merging onto a freeway at 40 miles an hour? You might as well be a human traffic cone. Every single one of these actions throws a wrench into a system that depends entirely on order.
Okay, so enough about the problems. Let's get to the playbook. Now that we know the dangers and we understand this unwritten rule, we can build a game plan. So how do we actually become part of the solution and start driving with intention?
Well, first up, choosing your lane on a highway shouldn't be random. It has to be strategic. Generally speaking, the right lane is your safest bet. Why? You've got an escape route, the shoulder, and you only have to manage traffic on your left. The middle lanes, they tend to box you in. And the left lane, well, it has one job, and one job only: passing. Get in, make your pass, and get back out. Simple.
Now merging, this is where that predictability covenant is tested every single time. And there is one step here that is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. You have got to match the speed of traffic before you try to enter the lane. That on-ramp is your runway. Use it. Using it properly makes you a predictable, easy piece of the puzzle, not a sudden roadblock.
So once you're in your lane, what's the trick to staying perfectly centered? It's so simple. Look way, way down the road, not at the pavement right in front of your hood. Your car naturally goes where your eyes are looking. It's just how our brains are wired. And at night, those little reflectors on the road and that solid white fog line on the edge, those are your best friends.
Now, when you put all of these different pieces together, it's about more than just following a bunch of rules. It's about a total mindset shift. It's about leveling up, evolving from being a reactive driver who just deals with problems as they pop up to becoming a predictive one.
And this comparison just illustrates the difference perfectly. The reactive driver, they're on autopilot. But the predictive driver, they're playing chess. They are constantly thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. See, they're not just steering a car, they're actively managing a safety bubble around themselves, always scanning, always asking, what's the potential hazard here? And let's be really clear about something. Getting this right isn't just about avoiding the physical impact of a crash. It's about avoiding the entire chain reaction of consequences that ripples out from one single tiny mistake in your lane positioning. Because a simple error can start this really nasty domino effect. First comes the ticket, right? Then maybe you're found at fault in an accident, which means legal liability. Then your insurance premiums just skyrocket. If you aren't dropped completely, it's a cascading failure that can seriously mess up your life, all stemming from one little lapse in judgment.
So, it all really comes down to this. The next time you grab your keys, you have a conscious choice to make. Are you going to slip back into autopilot and just kind of hope for the best? Or are you going to be the one playing chess, actively in control, and managing your own safety on the road? The choice, as always, is yours.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.